Excuse me as I kiss the sky. I think I made a lot of videos about me being single, but you know, people still ask me why. They watch my videos, guys specifically watch my videos, and they always ask me, why am I single? I have more male viewers than I have female viewers, and males always ask me over and over, what are you doing single? Why are you single? What are you doing single? And because I have so many different stories about, you know, men being bad to me, I have great stories about men that are being good to me. I have a lot of platonic male friends because I'm tomboyish, you know, and I have a lot of guys that I watch sports with. I have a lot of guys that I talk about, you know, just regular intellectual things with, that I like just hanging out with, and they just like hanging out with me. A lot of men compliment me, and a lot of men enjoy my company. But I think what keeps me single is not so much of me being a black woman, because a lot of people say, you know, black women tend to be single because of their attitudes or things of that nature. That is not why I'm single at all. It isn't because I make poor choices in men either. I don't have a specific kind of type. Like, people say, what's your type? I don't have like a type that I specifically go after. I do know for sure I like nice guys, really nice guys. I'm not really into thugs like that, but I like guys who think, who are very, very clever, and who are very, very kind. And you know, nowadays it's very, very hard to find people who are genuinely kind. And I think with a lot of guys that have tried to approach me before, they think I expect some kind of perfection because how high they consider my standards. And I don't really have high standards to me, but to other men, they could feel like, you know, I put too much pressure on them to give me what I require. I'm not a selfish person at all when it comes to relationships. And a lot of women are, when they get inside of relationships, they tend to be only focused on what they want. So they start pressuring a guy to be inside of a relationship. And so, you know, I had a guy ask me recently, do you pressure guys to be in a relationship? I never really have to beg a guy to do too much of anything when they come after me, you know. And any guy that's been in my life for an extended amount of time, and he's played too many games or lied or put us in a position where I would have to continuously forgive him, it's come to a point where they don't have any leeway with me, where I don't have any patience with them anymore. So it's either you give me this, or this isn't going to go down. You give me what I want, or you're not going to get what you want. And a lot of guys want a lot from me. It could be a number of things that they want, but what mostly men want me to do is provide them with my company, because I am good company. And they're like, well, I want you around. I want you to spend more time with me. And you know, if it's a guy in my past or a guy that I've been around for a very, very long time, I'm like, okay, well, if you want my company, you'll have to give me something. You'll have to give me what I've been asking you for, because when I was giving you my company just randomly because I enjoyed being around you, you were treating me bad. So now in order for you to get the kind of company that you want, you have to be good to me. And a lot of guys don't understand that. They're thinking, well, you know, why don't you just still continue to give me your company just because you want to? It no longer works like that if you lost your privileges. So right now, what's surrounding me is really just a lot of guys that are just my friends, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do with me, and we're trying to figure out whether we have like a flow going on. And they'll want something from me that I'm not prepared to give them without them giving me something first. And that's generally what's going on with people in general. They don't want to put out first, to put themselves out there first to be heard. So I understand how there are a lot of people out there single. But me being single doesn't have anything to do with my race. It doesn't have to do with me being like this mean person, or, I have like these standards that are ridiculous. No, it's just, I'm a very quirky person. I'm a different person. And, if you've been watching me on YouTube, you know that. And so I just need somebody who fits me perfect. There are so many nice guys out there. That does not mean that they fit me. They could be sweet and smooth and good. That doesn't mean that they fit me. Just because that person is a good man doesn't mean, they just automatically get the privilege to be with me. I don't fit with every person, just how you don't fit with every person. So, guys will come to me and say, well, the reason why you're single is because you're passing up on good brothers. No, it's not that. I'm not just gonna pass up on a good brother just because he's a good brother. No, it's not that. They think, all women like bad guys, or you must like bad guys, and no, that's definitely not the case at all. I really, really enjoy kind guys. I like funny guys. I like guys who are romantic, guys that know how to give flowers and go out. I'm a very outgoing person, and a lot of men don't want to do that. Like, when men ask me out on the first date, the first thing they do is ask me to come to their house. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a stranger. Like, I don't know you like that to be coming into your private, intimate space. Like, you need to do something constructive with me outside. But when I tell guys this, they're automatically thinking that means, I got to spend money on her. She only wants me to spend money on her. It's not even about money. I've spent money on dates before. I don't look at it as, in order for me to spend money on somebody, I have to be getting something in return. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it that way, and I don't think any man is supposed to look at it that way when it comes to dating. You're supposed to just go out and have fun, and if it takes you treating the lady, that means you charging it to the game. You want to take this lady out because you want to take her out, not because you want to get something in return. I mean, if you want to be technical, what you are getting in return is getting to know her, getting to spend some time with her to see if you two even flow well to begin with. So this whole dating thing, whether it's made up by society or whether it's not a good idea or a bad idea, for me it's effective. How other people feel about it, I don't know. It's two things with me. It's either hell yes, you like me, or hell no, you don't. There's no in between. And a lot of guys want to go really, 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 really like super duper beyond past the pace of slowness that I want to, but at the same time they want me to give them relationship shit. It's like, to them, a commitment is a huge leap. But sexual activity and things that come with a relationship should be given to them right now. And I don't think that's a fair exchange. I feel like if you want to be in a relationship with me, or if you want to be in a commitment with me, then you can get those relationship and commitment things. You can't get those things beforehand. And a lot of guys want those things. They want to feel it. They want to have sex with me. They want to cuddle. They want me to cook for them, provide for them financially. They want me to give them the support. They want me to encourage them. They want me to inspire them. They want me to, whatever they want me to do, make them happy before we even get in a relationship. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm giving you all of this stuff before we get in a relationship, then what's the purpose of us being in a relationship? And I think so many women are giving so much of themselves away for free that it's making, it difficult for me as a woman, saying, what are you going to give me in order for me to feel comfortable enough with giving you something? And so that's what's keeping me single. And I've been single for a very, very long time. And I've had men come to me and beg to be with me, beg for friendship, beg to be in a relationship. And I always tell them, well, if you give me whatever it is that I want, I'll go back to giving you the best of myself. And they never can consistently give what I want to me, which are simple things. I mean, it's all about consistency. Call. If you can't call, text me. Don't lie. Be where you say you're going to be, when you say you're going to be there. That's it. Be affectionate, be funny, encourage me. If I'm celebrating an accolade or something special that's going on with my career, I'm celebrating some kind of success, always be standing right next to me. Any event I'm supposed to be at, anything that is praising me, be there, be right by my side, be my friend, genuinely. Hear me out and see the good in me. And when I'm hurt, if I'm hurt by you or not, be there to hear me out. And don't classify my emotions as me being unstable emotionally or insensitive. If I point out something that you're doing that I don't like, hear me out. Because if you was to do that to me, I would factor it in and try to change the kind of person that I am for you. Especially if I know that it's hurting you. Because I wouldn't purposely go out hurting someone. You know what I mean? I wouldn't purposely go out and just be cruel to someone. I just don't have that kind of heart. Like, I'm not that kind of person at all. So, you know, me being single is one of those things that it's not like this disease where I'm like, oh my God. But I have accepted that I could be like that forever. And I think it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. Initially, it used to bother me because I used to want to be married so bad. But my last relationship, I met a guy I really was into. And I won't say that he kind of ruined it. It's not that. It's more of I had made a decision before he came that he would be it. And if it didn't work for him, I knew that, you know, maybe being in relationships and stuff wasn't for me. So I don't go around, you know, looking for a relationship. You know, I go out, I meet men, and if a man says he's interested in me, I tell him what I require. If he can't handle it, then he walks off, and I move on to the next guy. And that's how it goes. Am I having sex a lot? Not so much. I wish I was, but I want one sex partner. And that's what's making it so hard because so many people are sleeping with so many different people, and people want casual sex so fast and easy nowadays. It's so difficult for me. I don't use sex as a greeting. You know, I use sex as a way to show how I feel about someone. So I'm kind of fighting with that. But, you know, hopefully I'll fix that. You know what I mean? But someone asked me to make a video about that. So I decided, you know, here's your video about that. But I'm not single because I'm angry or I'm bitter with men or so anything crazy like that. It's just I'm looking for something very, 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 very specific. And when I find him, I will know. Trust me, I will see him and I will just know. You know, and me and him will be fine, and there will be no drama, and we'll just have fun for a long time. And whatever I say to him, he'll have a decent response, and every time he says something to me, I'll have a decent response, and it'll just flow naturally. That's what I'm looking for, and I'll probably find it sooner than later. But if I end up single, team single forever, I'm okay with that too. Hey, it's your girl Miss Soncerae here, and I want to welcome you to UnicornAtlanta.club. Have you heard about my book yet? Yeah, my book is interesting. Unicorn Atlanta is basically about me moving from DC to Atlanta and discovering my bisexuality. And you know, a lot of people don't know that I'm bisexual because I don't really scream it to the rooftops. But I definitely wanted to make sure that my book included the LGBT community. People always say that Atlanta is like the gay capital of the world for the Black community. To me, I see a lot of homosexuality in the Atlanta area, and it's not like this horrible thing. But when I tell people that I'm bisexual, they have a lot of questions. They don't understand, you know, bisexuality. The first thing they ask me is like, why, if a woman is a lesbian, why does she want a butch? The questions that I get about it are interesting. They ask me stuff like, were you born this way? When did you know that you were bisexual? People act negatively towards things that they don't understand. So it's a lot of people out there that look at homosexuality or bisexuality or the swingers lifestyle or polygamy and all that stuff. They look at it so negatively because it's not something they can understand, simply because it's something that they were told that they shouldn't do. A lot of people have hand-me-down traditions and ideologies and ideas and ways of living their life that were taught to them by people that their parents or their pastor or something like that, and they never took the time to explore life themselves. So with Unicorn Atlanta, I talk about how I went from being Christian to Buddhist. I have a lot of sexuality inside of my book, but I also have a lot of information in there about metaphysics, quantum physics, spirituality, the laws of the universe. I speak very candidly about my life experiences, and so, you know, before everybody thinks my book is some Corinne Steffens put everybody on blast book, you know, I want you to understand the premise of Unicorn Atlanta. It's a very controversial book because I do name people. I do talk about how I ended up finding out I was bisexual. I end up talking about all of the things that I explored. You know the term bi-curious. I think that's what I was. 'Cause I see girls and I think they're attractive, but I don't go after them. You know, I think I can only get with a woman sexually. Like, I couldn't like fall in love with one. I'm not going to say that. Let me scrap that, because that might not be some accurate information. I want you guys to take the time out to go to unicornatlanta.club and look at the synopsis, and I want you to purchase it. I want you to purchase it because it's going to teach you. A lot of my life is so entertaining and so dramatic, and it's so many lessons. As I was reading it back, like, I wrote it down, and as I was reading it back, I was like, my goodness, my life is so, like, just a lesson, and it is so entertaining, and it's like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm surprised I survived some of this stuff. The main character in my book is this guy by the name of Chris Law. So if you go into my YouTube channel, I have a playlist, and on that playlist is a video of him, you know, talking about how he feels about, you know, what happened between he and I. And he introduced me to the lifestyle, so that's why he's part of the book. But he went on to another YouTuber's channel and decided that he wanted to, you know, discuss what I said about him and, you know, how he feels about the book. And you know what? It's fair for him to talk about his side of the story. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says, and I want to call him a lying bastard, but, you know, what would Jesus do? You know, I want to be a little bit more proactive and positive when it comes to this book. Like, I need people to understand that regardless of the drama and the entertainment and the scandal and the controversy, this book is a positive book, and you won't know that until you order it. And I'm taking pre-orders now. Depending upon how many pre-orders I get will depend upon the release date. And the interesting part about it is, like, so many people are pre-ordering, and I appreciate you guys pre-ordering and supporting me, especially inside of the LGBT community. You guys are purchasing. Like, a lot of people are emailing me saying, hey, I'm bisexual, or I'm lesbian, and I don't want to tell anybody, but in your book is helping me feel comfortable with being a lesbian or being bisexual, or your book has made me feel comfortable with polygamy and, you know, the different types of relationships. You have to understand that people love certain people for certain reasons. You can never love two people the same. So each situation is extremely different, and people are like, bitch, you hoe, you fuck somebody's husband. Yeah, nobody's perfect, baby. Yeah, nobody is perfect, and I'm not trying to be perfect, and I don't want anybody to feel like that's the aim for me. But go to unicornatlanta.club and check out the book, and you let me know, give me some reviews, let me know what you think. You know, I appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye. Fellas, I made a video for you guys about how the ladies should have a conversation with you before spreading their legs about whether or not you all want to be fathers. Because I'm seeing a lot of women put men on child support. And when these men don't want to be fathers, these women are feeling some kind of way and taking it to the courts. And I think that's horrible, because these men don't have to carry these babies. So it's up to you as a woman to sit down and have a conversation with the man and figure out, is this man planning on sticking around, or is he just having fun with you in the meantime? This is something that you need to think about. And in order for you to do that, you have to have a conversation. Okay? The conversation. So I'm saying this in another video. The video was me telling black women to take care of your husband, because if you don't, a woman like me who isn't interested in marriage or a relationship, she's just cool with companionship, will nicely take your husband off your hands. And so women weren't feeling that. You're like, like whatever. This goes hand in hand with the whole child support thing. So they're saying all this other stuff. So they asked me, did you have the conversation with your daughter's father about whether he wanted to be a family man, about kids, XYZ? My answer to that question is yes. Okay? Me and my daughter's father talked before we even stopped using protection and said, listen, we want to take off the protection. Let's talk. Let's discuss this. We decided, we agreed that if we broke up, the most important thing to us would still be our kid. Whatever happened between us has nothing to do with our kids. So as parents, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that our kids are taken care of, and we are never going to bring the courts in our business. That's what me and my daughter's father agreed on. And I have not had a problem with him ever since. My daughter is 15. She will be 16 November 11th. My daughter, all good. Because I knew her father wanted to be a father. We had the conversation. Now, if he told me he didn't want to be a father, then we would have used protection. I dated a guy for 4 years. 4 years. His name is B. He's inside of my Unicorn Atlanta book that I'm putting out. I talk about him and our relationship. We dated for 4 years. He told me from jump he didn't want to be a father. Period. Guess what he did the whole time we was together? Wear rubber. Whole time. 4 years we had sex using protection. Because he didn't want to be a father. And he knew he didn't want to be a father. And that may have changed with time. He might have found another chick and had a baby by now, because we were broken up for a year. Maybe 2. But we used protection every time. And it could be that he just didn't want to have a baby by me. You know what I mean? So he used protection. If he said this to me and didn't use protection, I would have still made him put it on. Because I know for a fact he didn't want to be a father. And he didn't want to have a kid, or didn't want to have a kid by me, because he verbally said this to me beforehand. And his behavior, how his behavior is. His behavior is of a man who isn't ready to be serious with anyone. He's not thinking about a family. I don't even care how old he is. The dude could be 28 or 45. You can tell by his behavior whether he is ultimately ready to settle down with someone. You'll be able to tell. Pay attention. Stop looking at how much money these men have. Stop looking at how good they look. Sometimes don't even listen to the words that's coming out of their mouth. You just got to pay attention to what they are doing, how they are treating you. Is he a problem? Is he a problem? Because if he's a problem, you might not want to start having kids by him at all. Think about this. A lot of these ladies that's in these situations where they have these children and these fathers are gone, if he's not in jail or dead and he out here living a life and he ain't trying to be no father, you knew that before. See, we women, we not stupid. We have women's intuition. And I'm tired of women downplaying their intuition like they ain't know. You know. We know. We're women. So you know when a man is good for you or when he isn't. You're just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes. Maybe you don't want to be lonely. Maybe you're the only one out of all of your friends that ain't got a man. I don't know. Don't even get me guessing. Okay? But hear me when I'm telling you. Have the conversation with these men from the beginning. Talk to them. Get to know them. Stop moving so fast. Or you're going to be walking around with kids that you're taking care of by yourself because your baby daddy ain't shit. That's my advice. That's, to me, it's always going to be a black woman's fault if she's walking around with kids and no father. Because you didn't take the time as a woman to check this nigga first. Check him. That's your body. You have to give birth to that baby. You have to go through the changes. You have to go through the morning sickness. You have to go through your twat stretching. You have to go through contractions. You have to go through nursing.
stitches, changes in hormones, changes in food you eat. That's your body. So as a woman, you have to take the responsibility for what's happening inside of your body. Don't let just some random man come all up and do that. If he ain't good for you, you're going to know off break. Slow down. Have the conversation. I had the conversation. I'm doing just fine with the one kid and one baby daddy I got. And then when I met other guys and they was like, I don't want to be a father, I was like, cool. Mental note taken. Keep it in mind, ladies. That's all I'm saying. Keep it in mind. Don't hate me. Don't hate me for... Listen, don't put in the comment section all of these weird... like, I'm seeing the ladies leaving these comments because they mad that I'm saying this. I'm serious. It is your fault. So it's up to you as a woman to do what you got to do, okay? Check them. You better check them.
So I posted something on Facebook yesterday about relationships, and I was talking about how I didn't mind not being in a committed relationship or marriage ever. And so this lady gets on and she says, well, the Lord made it for man and woman to be together, so I'm sure Jesus will find you a partner. And I said, well, thank Buddha I'm not Christian, because I don't have that desire to be a part of a marriage or a relationship if you're telling me that this has something to do with religion. And she's like, well, I've been divorced and I really just don't see, even as much as I've been hurt, me being away from a man that long. And I said to her, I'm like, Miss Ma'am, if you have been beat, raped, molested by men, majority of your life, and men have always treated you bad from the time you can remember. I'm talking about from your fathers, your uncles, to everything. You won't be as attached to them. And that's the kind of person I am. I'm just not attached to men in that way. I'm not attached to women in that way. I'm just not attached to anything. And a lot of that has to do with me being Buddhist as well. Because in Buddhism, the main thing that they teach you is about detachment. The philosophy that I live is basically that I'm free from lusts, cravings, and desires. And I'm pretty much a non-materialistic person. Like, if it isn't a means for survival, I don't really need it. Like, if it's not water, food, shelter, and transportation, I don't need it. If it doesn't have anything to do with me staying alive or my health, I don't need it. And so a lot of people are like, you know, how could you detach yourself from something of, you know, that's so important? And, you know, it's because I look at the world from the inside out, and I didn't get this way just because, I mean, spiritually and emotionally and mentally, I was in a different place. And when I desired being married and I was Christian and really, really believed that, you know, that's the type of life I wanted to live, it did not work out for me. It did not work out for me. So I'm free of all of the things that society has basically threw upon us to make us worry about so many things that we shouldn't be worried about. And I noticed when I stop worrying about stuff, my life actually goes a lot smoother. Like, not giving a fuck about anything actually is a lot easier than me being worried about so many other things, and worried about what people think, and worried about what my husband is doing or what my boyfriend is doing, or getting married, or, you know, putting up this facade for other people. There's so many things that's happening in life in general that so many people are worried about, that stresses them to make them actually extremely uncomfortable with their life experience. And as I sit here and I get rid of all of that, I'm actually pretty cool. I try to stay neutral about a lot of things, and not being in a relationship, I just don't see the benefits. I don't see the benefits. And so as I'm talking to this woman on Facebook, I actually was on YouTube at the same time, kind of going from tab to tab. And on this video called Calling All Black Men, the Hypocrisy is Real, I'm suggesting to people, to good black men actually, to start making more positive YouTube videos. It doesn't matter the color of the person that you're with, but if you're a good man, start making more videos, because a lot of black women feel like there aren't any good men out there. And if more good men will make more videos, then
more women would see more positive men in social media and on YouTube, and it would just help, because right now on YouTube it's more black men who claim they're good men, but they're bashing black women in the process. A good black man is not going to do all that. A lot of these black men that bash black women on YouTube, they have criminal records, they have illegitimate children, divorces, several baby mamas, living a lie. One of them has rape charges. I mean, it's so many things going on that has to do with these men on YouTube. I just wanted a lot more women to see something more positive, so I made a video encouraging good black men to actually post more positive videos. And so all I seen in the comment section were a whole bunch of bitter ass black men talking about, you know, how they can't find anything positive to say about a black woman and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, this video isn't for you. This video is for good men who aren't single, who have good women, regardless to what color those women are. I just want more black women to see more good black men so they can know that good black men exist. But inside of the comment section was a whole bunch of bitter ass black men. So one black man says, well, what's the benefit? What's the incentive of being with a black woman? He was basically just implying that there's nothing. And I'm like, well, what's the incentive of a black woman dating a black man? Poverty, single motherhood, dick. I mean, these are the things that men have to offer. From what I'm noticing a little pattern here between the average men and the exceptional men. The exceptional men, you may have something more to offer a black woman or any woman of any race, but average men don't have really too much of anything to offer. So I don't see any point or benefit or incentive. And so I explained to him, you know, well, I guess it depends upon the person, what they actually want in a man, whether it'll benefit them or not, because some women want very little, some women want a lot. For me, I want simplicity and not something that is that complicated. Like, I want someone who is extremely honest, who I can be friends with. If I want to cuddle with them, I can cuddle with them. Companionship. I don't need all of the titles and the facades and the, you know, and it might be different for other people who are looking to build a family, because I remember when I was younger, after my daughter, you know, was born, I would meet guys and I would be interested in having families with them, but their minds would be on sex or money or whatever the case may be. So now that I'm 36, it's almost like, to me, that ship has sailed. Like, you know, my desire to even want a family like that has left. I feel like if I want a family, I can go to a foster home. If I want to start a family, I can get a foster home, or I can adopt some kids if it's that serious. Like, because there's a lot of kids out here that's looking for parents, and there's a lot of parents out here that can't have kids that are looking for kids. So if I really wanted a family like that, I don't need to be married in order to have that, because if I'm financially in a good place, I can basically adopt as many kids as I want. So, you know, I feel like I'm just detached from what society is usually attached to. So when people find out that I'm not interested in relationships or marriage anymore, they really don't get it. But then when I start explaining to them how I just don't fit in that criteria of a wife or a girlfriend or even a casual sex partner, like, I don't even want that. I'm good without that, you know, and people are surprised about that as well. But I just try to encourage everybody that Buddhism actually taught me to not care so much about a lot of other stuff that a lot of people care about. And I guess it's a couple of steps towards nirvana, which is basically what most Buddhists are trying to accomplish. They're trying to get to a place of enlightenment to where they're completely happy all across the board. And for me, it's like, the more I don't care about stuff, the happier I get, the more nonchalant I get. And it actually bothers people because I seem so nonchalant sometimes. I care about certain things, but I look at things in a positive perspective. And the average thing that people will care about, I just don't care about. Like, I just don't need the fancy car. I just don't need the popularity and the fame. I just don't need the relationship or the marriage, because a lot of those things are tools that people use to impress other people, and I just really don't care what other people think, because to me, what other people think is not my business. It's up to them. I can't control their mind. They're going to think what they want to think regardless to how I behave. There's no level of perfection that can be made. There's nothing I could do. So I just have a non-detachment, and it's not a need for non-detachment. It's just there. To me, everything physical, my physical body is just temporary. And what I noticed about life as I continue to live it, that everything is temporary. Every situation is temporary. And so I try not to hold on to too much of anything, and that includes people. Because people change and people go, people come and go as well. And I noticed that very young, and it used to break my heart when people would come and go. People would just come and go in and out my life. Not just men, just people in general, friends, everything, come and go, come and go, come and go. And it probably has a lot to do with me being inside of the entertainment industry, where I'm meeting so many people and I'm doing so many things. So I just don't really have any attachment to people or things.
Excuse me as I kiss the sky. I wanna take you higher. Yeah. I don't know why I sung that. It has nothing to do with anything that has to do with this video. Listen, I wanted to talk about something specific, but I want to talk to you guys about it while I'm doing like this graphic. I went ahead and recorded myself doing a graphic from scratch, because a lot of people try to say, oh, her graphics are templates. Well, usually if I do a graphic, I do it custom made. I do it from scratch from the beginning. I might take an old graphic that I did and reuse it like I'm going to do with this graphic right here. But for the most part, I don't really use templates like that. I use them from scratch. Excuse Justice, he up in here talking to, he having his moment. Okay, so you won't hear him in the background. He watching TV. He in his swing watching TV. So I wanted to talk about dating apps. And the reason why I wanted to talk about dating apps, because everybody knows that I met Justice's father on POF. Okay, now I've never really used POF to really find love, not ever. Like, I don't think I ever thought that I would find love on any type of dating site. But usually I'll get on dating sites in order to get new clients in regards to graphic design, or when I was promoting parties in Atlanta, I would use dating apps to attract guys to come to events, you know, at whatever club I was promoting at the time. So using a dating app was like super easy, and it would just help me, you know, be able to find men that were single, and that's what I really needed. But as time went on, I started to notice that dating apps is basically what married men use to sneak around. Married men use the internet to fuck around, and I didn't start noticing this shit until married men really started trying to holler at me like that. Now, Priest wasn't the last guy that contacted me online to try to holler at me that was actually married. Priest was separated when he met me, but so he and this wife of his led me to believe, because see, from what I'm understanding now in hindsight, they probably just had like this open relationship and was just playing mind games with other people around them. As fucked up as that is, you know, a lot of people don't think about what they doing when they get in these situations. I thought long and hard before I started dating Priest and taking him serious, and I factored in the possibility that him and his woman could get back together. But he had made me so many promises that they wasn't. She had made me so many promises that they wasn't. So I just fell for the okie doke. But what I want to tell a lot of women who are getting on these dating apps, not just POF, Tinder, damn OkCupid, Bumble, damn Tagged, what's the other one, Badu, it's a whole bunch of different ones that people use. Shit, you might be able to get fucked in the game if you use eHarmony or Match or whatever, like the ones that you literally have to pay for. I think the free apps are a little bit more dangerous, and as we're talking about free apps and the danger of using them, men tend to use women on these sites as prey. Okay, so now don't get it twisted. I know some people that I met on social media, whether it's Facebook or a dating site, and they've been together since they met, you know, but that's an exception to a rule. Like the majority of the people on there, you're gonna have a difficult time, you know, deciphering whether they telling you the truth about who they are. Now here's another thing I want to bring to everybody's attention. All right, so let's say for instance you meet somebody you like on a dating app, and you meet somebody that you like in real life. You may meet them at the grocery store, at the club, or maybe one of your friends introduce you to this person. That doesn't mean that person is any less crazy than the person that you're meeting on a dating site. Like, I've met assholes just strictly off me going to go get some shoes in a handbag, or me walking in a damn grocery store. You understand what I'm saying? So you at risk of meeting an asshole whether you meet them online or not. That's neither here nor there, okay? So don't let it fool you. I don't know if y'all know, but there's this like man suspected of killing a woman he met on a dating app in New York City, and he pleaded not guilty to attempted murder and rape charges in Los Angeles earlier this week, I believe. So, but from what I understand, it's like 6 other cases of him like strangling other women. Like, he's literally been like doing this for a while now, and if you see him, he's like a really handsome dude. Like, I know other women that's looking at him like, oh my god, I would have totally dated him if he had reached out to me and been like really nice enough. I think his name is Daniel Drayton. I think he was arrested last week in Los Angeles and is set to be extradited to New York in connection with the murder of one woman and the rape of another, and both of whom police officials said he met through dating apps. This guy has been wanted for murder of this nurse he met in Queens, who was found dead in her home a few weeks ago after she met him on Tinder. Listen, we all not slow. We know men prey after women all of the time, online and off. But in this specific situation, there's no evidence to prove that this dude strangled this girl. He was actually arrested in Hollywood, California, after the Los Angeles police said he strangled and sexually assaulted a 28-year-old woman he had also met on a dating site. This dude said he strangled a man in the Bronx before, but he has never really done anything to a woman. He's saying these accusations are false. I don't know. We're going to see how this pan out. But seeing the picture of him, I'm just surprised. I mean, his bail was ridiculous. That joint was set at $1.25 million. Like, he is not getting out. Like, the only way he'll get out is if some celebrity decides somewhere to pay. He's like connected to like 7 murders. He ain't getting out of jail. They set that bail so high, that man ain't going no goddamn way. He ain't going nowhere. Like I said, I never really used a dating site as a real way to find someone. So it's kind of surprising me the way that I met Priest and we actually ended up together and had a baby together. But as you can see, you know, that didn't turn out well. But then again, you know, some situations just don't turn out well, whether you meet a person online or offline. After Priest, I actually found out a guy that I had been talking to as just as friends for many years. He's actually still married and been separated for 8 years and didn't tell me. And I just found out after I was telling him the story about me and Priest. And then another friend of mine that we were having a business relationship with each other. I was actually doing his graphics and stuff for him and his video editing. And this fool came to me one day and sent me this message talking about, you know, how much I make him happy and how he wants to leave his wife for me. And I'm like, yo, we ain't never met in person. We just been Facebook friends for a really long time. And we've been handling business as of lately. So when he burst out of nowhere talking about somehow he wanted to be a father to my son and how he wanted to get married to me. And the interesting part about it is the man got 8 kids already. All right. And he on his 3rd wife and was expecting me to be wife number 4. And I'm looking at the message of him sending this to me. He's sending this to me online, and I guess he was expecting for me to be like, okay, fine, let's do this. I was like, nigga, you have lost every bit of your mind. I said, you mean to tell me you reached out to me on a professional level just to get to me on a personal tip? That's really disappointing to me. You know, I was just really upset. I just let him have it. He asked me was I going to tell his wife. I said, listen, I don't know your wife, and even if I did know your wife, I'm not about to have this conversation with her. I'm just going to check you because you straight tripping. You understand what I'm talking about? You straight tripping. So ladies, hear me when I tell you, be careful about these men that you meet online. And even in Atlanta, right? Atlanta, they have these little parties, these little Facebook group parties, right? And little sex parties in Atlanta, to where they'll try to make women feel comfortable with participating and coming to these events. But then when the women do finally decide to participate, if they participate in the Facebook groups or the sex parties or whatever the case is, they start dragging the women inside of that group. Women start dragging the women inside of the group, and at the parties, men start dragging the women. It's like a whole bunch of drama and messiness. I had to get out a whole bunch of Facebook groups. I was like, people in Atlanta in these Facebook groups and these parties is just too much. Like, I was like, oh my God. I don't think they have that type of thing here in San Francisco. Like, most people who throw events here in San Francisco, at least from what I've seen, a lot of it has to do with culture and education, and it's like meet and greets for information technology people and people inside of business, but I haven't been here long enough to let you know the skinny on what the nightlife is here in San Francisco, or what it's like to really date, because I haven't been dating like that. But you best believe I will keep y'all updated. But ladies, be careful on these dating sites, because I'm telling you, these men are using all types of damn apps and ways to reach out to women. And the internet used to be cool as hell at first. Like, I used to have a Black Planet page, and I've always used the internet as a way to promote my business, my modeling, or whatever the case. So I've always had a social media platform from as far back as I can remember. I'm talking about like 1999, 2000. And back then the internet was kind of mysterious, because everybody had like a screen name or a username, but it would be very rare that you would actually meet the person that you're talking to in person. So now that everybody's starting to meet everybody in person, because they're having like Facebook parties and damn Instagram. A DJ posted one time on Instagram that he was having a block party, and everybody showed up to that. You know, it's different now. So you never really know who's following you on social media, and if you say you going to be somewhere, somebody will show up. I remember one time I was trying to get rid of an ex, and I wrote on my Facebook that I was at Lenox Mall chilling, and next thing you know, this dude showed up, and I'm like, you can't tell me it's a coincidence that your ass just suddenly showed up to Lenox, walking around the food court looking for me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So you got to be careful about where you are and what you telling people about your whereabouts. And speaking about that, I just posted like maybe 2 months ago, I posted a video about a dude that was like stalking me, and I put like the link to a blog to where I wrote in detail about this guy. He was a white guy, and I'm thinking since then, since he hasn't posted anything about me on his YouTube channel, that he's no longer stalking me. Do you know this fool posted a video just like yesterday or the day before that, actually using Google Maps, recording his screen. He recorded a picture of the grocery store that I was last at in a video. Like, I showed myself at a Safeway near my house. This stalker is doing a video about how much he likes Safeway, but he's using a picture of the very grocery store that I go to in that specific side of town. And I guess he's trying to, like, everybody's trying to guess where I live at and stuff, and every time they try to guess, they're never right. Like, they're never right. Like, how many times I gotta say I live in San Francisco, but they think because I go out into certain areas to visit friends and family, and they might see me out there, that must be where I live. So this fool is using the same picture of the very damn Safeway I go to, and he was doing a live stream talking to his audience, talking about how much he likes Safeway, but has the picture of the very same Safeway, like he live in the state I live in. He don't even live in the state I live in. He live in Oregon. I live in California. He's showing a picture of the very Safeway I go to in the very town center. Got a map. Got an actual map of where that very Safeway is, and is talking about it. That's how creepy people on the internet have become. And I'm pretty sure they was creepy back then when I first got on, but they're definitely creepy now, and ain't got no shame in their game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you were accused of stalking, or there was a possibility that charges could be filed against you for you stalking a woman, wouldn't the last thing you do is live stream a actual picture of this woman's whereabouts, like a map of where this woman, frequently goes? That's stalking, and this fool has not registered that in his mind. Even though he isn't talking about me in this live stream, it's clear that he's using the very picture of a Safeway that I was driving by, or I was sitting in the parking lot doing a video at this Safeway. You have to be careful, ladies, online, because people of all colors, black, white, regardless to what gender they are following you around. They're looking at what you're doing, and you need to be careful. Like, people prey people on the internet, like, seriously. And so when people say, well, how do you show your son? How do you vlog about your family? Because I know how to keep myself safe. Like, nobody knows exactly where I am, right? They think they know exactly where I live at, right? Now, I done went to this damn Safeway. I bet you I never go to that damn Safeway again. I never see me in that Safeway. And this is the very reason why I said to people, you know what, if you want to put your logo on my backdrop, please do, because I'm getting a backdrop so I can film in my house. I'm not filming in my car. I'm not driving and doing a live stream anymore, because I was doing that before. People are real creepy, especially men. They have this predatory behavior and they actually think that it's okay. So ladies, please be careful on the internet. Don't get yourself caught up in a situation that you can't get out of, honey child. All right, have vision and stay focused. Namaste.
Listen to what I'm saying. I might meet a person, say, you know what, this guy's nice to hang out with, blah blah blah, but he's not marriage material.
Come on, you guys, we got two people here.
Right. But why do I have to be thinking about marriage with this person? I have determined that with this person, my end game is just a good relationship. Eventually, I might want to, but just right now, just with this person, they're not marriage material. So we move on.
My next question about that is, do you guys even talk about it with that person?
At a certain point.
I don't know.
Not unless that's really what you wanted. If you're looking to get married right now, you should have that conversation. Because if you're with someone who doesn't want to do that, you should know up front. But if you are just like, I'm kind of chilling, I want to feel what's happening, I want to get to know somebody, that's a different conversation. That depends on where you are as a person.
Let's say you're single now. What is your end game of what you want?
In a relationship.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in a relationship, for me at this moment, I want to have a companion. I want to have good conversation. I want to just see what's going to happen.
I didn't know it depended on the person. I thought that's what everybody was
doing. Mary, what's yours? What's your end game?
It is marriage, but I'm still on the whole depends on the person. And I know you're like, oh, why does she do this?
No, why didn't you get with somebody when
okay, if you want to say my ultimate goal.
No, not you, I'm just saying in general.
But I don't like the word end game. That doesn't work for me.
Oh.
Like my ultimate goal, because I've never been married. I don't have children.
Yeah.
Is to get married and have children. I can't be the baby mom. I can't. I know I can't. In my spirit, I know I can't. And I've lived 31 years and I have not had that happen. So that's my end result. That's my ultimate goal. Okay. But right now I'm chilling. Like I want someone to hang out with. Like I said, I've been in Atlanta since 2007, and then those 3 years that I kind of wasn't here. But I haven't really hung out here. I don't know where anything is. I've never been to Stone Mountain. I live next to Stone Mountain. Like there's little things that I want to do and just like hang out and
But do you get out? Because most women say they want to hang out, they want to meet people.
They
not
okay.
what they sell.
But they're right inside the house. They're right inside the house.
When I first got here, I was in here. Like when I first moved to Georgia, I was in here. I was in New York. I went back home very often. And then after that I got settled, I got a job where I couldn't hang out as much. So I didn't go out. But now I'm trying to network. Like I came out here. Like this is totally out of my realm right now. Like me talking to you right now is totally out of my comfort zone.
That's why there ain't no TV or no music in here. You know?
No, we got
Y'all need to talk. Like I'm saying, can't talk with the TV on.
Beverly.
Yes.
You're 31.
Yes.
Don't never say never.
No. Okay. You're right.
I think if a woman wants to be met or wants to be social with anything, they have to put themselves out there. And they have to do more than just like this right here. Literally just try to meet people because they're just not going to find you. It's just not going to happen. Someone told me that. They're like, you sitting around the house, you ain't going to find no damn body. Take your ass out.
So that's why I started doing different things. I started doing karaoke. I started making food myself on stage. And you know what? That's fun. And I started doing that. I started, I actually want to join a running club, but I'm not into running yet. I got my 15-minute mile, but just I can't do it yet. So, yeah.
Alright, guys' perspective, what's your end game?
In reference to what? I just got here, so I don't know. Like my end game is totally different, so don't.
Mine's marriage. I want
Marriage, okay.
What's your end game? Kids, because I already have kids. So I usually don't date people that have kids already kind of understand that.
That's gonna be another topic I'm gonna hit you next.
You know,
in-game relationships. Is it marriage? Like long term?
I think personally, marriage is more of a symbol of where the relationship is at, not really an end game thing. It's more like just a step in a direction to show the bond you two have. I think the ultimate end game is just ultimate companionship. It's like the person I'm going to die next to. I think that's what we can all agree with.
Yeah. Some people don't agree with it.
I know. Some people.
I mean, if that's,
Some people want marriage.
that's why it fails.
Right. My mother has dated a guy since 1989.
You have really articulated my argument.
No marriage or nothing.
My mother, he just came out of divorce and he had just lost his wife. And they've been together all this time. They're not married, but when one sees the other, people expect to see them together. They're happy. Like you said, I expect for them to die beside each other and be together forever.
I think that's good.
It doesn't have to be a marriage for you to be in a fulfilled relationship.
I agree. I'm just asking what y'all want.
Always, I want a ring on it. If you want to put a ring on it.
That's not nowadays.
Nowadays.
It's not new, but it's not new.
Okay, some other males. Come on, chime on in here.
yeah, we got a new guy.
What's your name, sir?
Xavier.
What would be your end game for relationships?
I mean, ultimate goal is marriage, right? But everybody is not. Some people can be together 20 years and they common law marriage. They don't have to go through the whole thing. So it's just, everybody's different.
Okay. All right, Soncerae, go ahead and answer since you're quiet over.
Yes.
What's your end game? What you want?
Turn the camera on.
I don't have no end game. I'm just floating along. No, really, seriously. I think, it would be marriage. Like, I see no point in dating somebody I'm not gonna marry. I get to know them in the dating process beforehand to figure out whether I want to be with them or not. So.
What's your end game? When you quiet over this too?
Straight in.
I would say my ultimate goal is marriage as a societal way to, like he said, to show where you're at in your relationship, but it is that companionship that me and you have said. And I've had this conversation plenty of times. People don't take it as seriously as they should. The word forever, that's a long time. You'd say you're going to be with this person for twice the length, in our age group, technically, generally, but twice the length you've been alive already. You want to be with this person until you change to a whole different looking person, learn different experiences until you are dead. That is serious business, but I believe there's someone out there for you. If that's what you want, you just got to look. Sometimes you got to go through a lot of bad people. We get to the good one.
Experiences, yeah.
Okay. That's how I feel.
What about you? You quiet over there. What about you?
Church.
Don't drink now.
Her take you to the bottom of the cup.
What about you? What's your end game, man?
My end game?
Yeah, what do you in a relationship? You want to be married?
I want to, first and foremost, I want a best friend. That's number one.
Yeah.
I got to have a best friend. And if we're best friends, if she wants to be married, I'm good. I mean, I'm okay.
So if she does it.
If she doesn't want to be married, I'm okay with that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's because you've been married.
Yeah, I have. I've actually got 19 years of marriage experience. So, I mean,
right.
I'm actually very good friends with my ex. And she's remarried, but I'm very good friends with my ex. The bottom line is, my next has got to be my bestest friend.
The question now becomes, what do you consider a long time to be with somebody? Because I hear this thing, and I think this came up in the group, where it's like 2 years, 3 years, you should be thinking about marriage. I honestly don't put I don't believe in putting a timeline on that. Honestly, that's me though. That's me.
Outside pressure. It depends on your.
I want to say pressure, but I think somebody would know within a year or two.
I'm
not saying they gotta act on it. I'm not saying you gotta act on it, but they should know. Like, okay, I'm really feeling
But
this
people are
person.
saying, what are you going to do next? And this couple is saying, we are just enjoying each other. And there, other people put pressure on you that you have to take a step that you may not necessarily be ready for at 2 years or 4 years or whatever it is. It's up to that relationship. There isn't a set amount of time. Now, that having been said, if you mess around with somebody for 2 years and you know it's not right, then y'all need to break that up. You know it's not right. You know you're not interested beyond whatever. They're not your best friend. Y'all don't have anything in common. You can't talk. The only thing that's good is the only thing that's good. Yeah. You need to break that up.
Some people get it for a comfort zone. They just
I agree.
If you guys got that physical attraction and it's just a physical relationship.
No, that's different. I'm talking about relationship.
Why be in that 5-10 years?
Exactly.
What? Why?
We're talking about a relationship. You're building things. You're intermingling. You're not just sleeping together.
I can be in a sexual relationship with
You
somebody
saying,
forever.
okay, I don't want to marry this person or problem. You got all that time to work on it. Why continue to be in a relationship 5-10 years and she ain't made it yet to be married? No,
because some people don't want to be married.
Like, if you be together for 5 or 10 years without saying I'm married, like without a ring and all that, you've been together like 5 or 10 years. That is a marriage.
Like me personally, I don't think I ever want to be married. Ever.
Wow. Why?
I just don't think it's for me. I don't have no problem with just monogamy or just being faithful. I just don't think marriage is for me. Because I've heard too many times once the ring changes, or once the ring is put on the finger, everything changes.
But you create your own type of relationship. It don't matter what people say.
I mean, sometimes you move in with the people, it changes. So you move in that person with you, everything changes. So,
I want companionship, but I don't want to be just stuck till you die. I just don't, me personally.
Is that true?
Stuck till you die. Till death do us part sound horrible.
You married or I would kill you.
Exactly.
The Bible said, no,
we those of you that have been married, is it true that you change when you get married?
Yes, they do.
I'm scared to share my space.
Absolutely, everyone.
I don't know about marrying somebody I have to share.
When you say grow, what do you mean by grow?
You change some of the
What do you
things that
mean
you
by
were
growing?
doing. You do, because you are growing.
Okay, here's the problem that I say that I haven't married, and it might ruffle a lot of females. I'm just gonna say my opinion. I think once a woman, because it's the same once a woman gets comfortable in a relationship, they stop doing certain things.
Whoa!
I think gonna stay on top
More. So
But you do change.
But like you said, it's not changing.
It's progressing.
Progression.
And then there's change.
No.
Something
Growth
different.
and
That's how I'm looking at it. You bring the kids in the mix,
That's a change.
What really changed when you're married? Excluding kids. What really changed?
Excluding kids?
Yeah.
No, you can't exclude
I mean, okay, so no more kids. That's why I say that right now.
You can't really exclude the kids.
You can't exclude that. But then think about it. So when you're 20, right? Well, let's think about this. We used to think the world was flat. And we changed, right? It's round. You learn things, you experience things, and the way that you were based on the shit you did or didn't know makes you a changed person because you're different. Your outlook changes, the things you do change. Everybody doesn't grow at the same rate, and everybody doesn't make the same changes.
Right. Even though it's change, I do consider
But progress
progress
and change are interwoven. You cannot separate them out. When you say progress, when you say growth, you have to include change.
Okay, so bringing that whole idea, then why is it that when you then think of when you say someone changes, things get worse?
Who said that?
No, I'm just saying.
That's the connotation, but that's not always true.
But that's kind of the whole thing about because that's not a progression. That's a regression.
No, I think that communication. I think that if you don't talk about the changes, both sides. If you're making changes and you think of something different, and you guys don't talk about them or what have you, or you make all these changes, you expect that somebody else is going to follow you or understand what you got going on in your head, then it's a negative connotation. Change doesn't have to be bad. As a matter of fact, you should change. If your ass is still the same as the day you got married, something's wrong. Something's wrong. You should have changed. You should know each other better. You should be able to anticipate stuff better. You should be able to talk about things better.
That's in a relationship too, though.
That's change. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be married.
You should be in a relationship with a person.
You should, yeah. If you can't change with another person, you shouldn't be with anybody. You do
be in a relationship with a person.
You should, yeah. You can't change with another person. You shouldn't be with anybody.
I just wonder why things just get bad.
They don't get
Why do people get divorced?
They get divorced because
I think the worst part now is
they may not be the right person.
They can go both ways.
They get divorced because they only wanted to get married, and they didn't marry the right person. They wanted to get married.
You know the right person.
No. The right person at 20. When you turn,
It's not the right person. It's not the right
when you
person.
turn 25, you're like, what in the hell was I thinking? Everybody's had that moment.
I still had that moment.
And then you look at people that you were dating and say,
They on Facebook right now.
yeah. But look at the situation we talked about. A lot of people get married because all my friends are getting married, so I want to be married too.
See, I'm not part of
And then they end up with trash.
All my exes.
And then
Oh,
they end up with trash, and then they trying to figure out how am I gonna get myself out of this when they didn't take the time to vet the situation from the start because I was so
Because our end game was marriage.
But a lot of
That don't
times,
mean you gotta rush into it.
a lot of times you can't bet. I agree. A lot of times you
because they
can't.
feel like I'm this age.
And you
That's the
won't
number
see
one
it.
thing people get married on. That is
But
the
see,
number one
Some
thing.
of my friends who all got married at 27, and they all got divorced by 30.
Yeah, see, I have a guy friend that got married, and he said that with guys, it's time. He said he dated plenty of young ladies that probably would have been a way better wife than the wife that he has right now, but just the timing was there for him. And now he...
Timing for what? It's a dude.
The timing for him.
Not me, no, that.
No, but the timing was the time that he wanted to be married and have children and have this house.
And his mama probably was there at Thanksgiving like, baby, when you gonna get married? And then, yeah.
That's always.
It's always gonna be that way.
Or whatever it may be.
understand that.
But then he's with this horrible woman that his family doesn't like, and then he strains his relationship with his family. He has 2 kids with her, and it's kind of like, what do I do now?
Better stick it
Because
out.
he was on that, because he was a man, but he was on this time that he wanted to be married. Instead of, I want to be happy. Because instead of saying, I want to be married, you need to say, I want to be happy.
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't want to be happy, you just want to be married. I want to be happy, yes. I want to be happy. If happiness is not ceremony in front of a whole lot of people, and it's just me and that person being together, we happy every day.
I could do that.
Other than every other day that we got to fuss about who's gonna take the trash out or something simple.
I mean, it tells you something classic. The end game should be you want to be happy.
You want to be happy.
That's the end game. You want to be happy.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
I'm happy
marriage
is something else, but
marriage
okay.
is for grown.
And a lot of
I'm
kids
saying
play
that's
the
a
game.
given. Nobody wants to.
But it's not. It's not. No. Because really, a lot of people are in a relationship. We're just dating, and they're unhappy.
Yeah, true.
You could walk away from that. You are
Absolutely.
not invested. You don't own shit together. Nothing. You could walk away tomorrow and y'all will be good. But I want to be with somebody. I want to be with somebody, not the body. Just somebody.
I don't have sympathy for that kind of person. You gotta move on. I don't have sympathy for someone who's in a relationship like that. That's what I'm saying.
Say it again.
I don't have sympathy for someone who's in a relationship.
But it's a lot of people out there.
There are a lot of people out there, but I don't have
And I know
sympathy.
that.
It's about understanding
Just
what
kinda
makes
like-
you happy.
It's not about
Like, if you look-
because I don't have to pick nothing out. That's
Yeah.
actually a fucking choice.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I would have sympathy for you because I don't
It's like on the same token. It's like understand.
That's fine.
We're not gonna be related for the same reason. It's like I have a need being fulfilled. It may not be all of my needs. It's the most pressing one. Or I may not feel right about myself. I'm just gonna feel, whatever I have to do to feel accepted by society's terms. That way, I have a man or a woman. It's not just I want to be happy. The flip side of it is I don't want to be unhappy. I'll be miserable, but I won't be unhappy because I have someone with me.
The arguing fuss me.
Right. It's like I'll be miserable, but I won't be unhappy and alone. That's the other thing. It's like I'm not trying to be happy, but it's like I don't want to be unhappy and be alone. So I'll be miserable with somebody else
Arguing with you
who I don't really care about.
Walking home, walking into the house knowing that there's an argument coming. I'll pass.
Sit out the driveway. What you doing? Sit here. Sit out the driveway.
But my neighbor was talking about why is 285 so crowded around 6 o'clock? Because there's plenty of people just just riding around and don't want to go home.
Oh man, that's what traffic is right there.
You don't want to go home. Just go out and get a train. Just ride around this motherfucker. When you out stuck in traffic, you making the traffic. Making traffic. Yes. Just gonna go drive into the train.